What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another edition of Dangle Betselli, powered by FTN, right here on Game Plus Network, live on our FTN Network YouTube page, presented by PointsBet Canada. Chris Meaney and the Eric Young here with you. 10 games on the ice tonight, 10 games on the ice Thursday. Looked ahead at the NHL schedule the rest of the way. We have some busy Tuesdays and Thursdays ahead. Just a handful of days away from the NHL trade deadline. We're going to recap a couple of those trades that have already taken place. Throughout the show, we'll probably lead here with the big Timo Meier deal, as the Devils aren't on the slate tonight. EY, what's going on, man? What are you rocking there today on this Tuesday? What is that jersey you got?
Got my Cali Yarncroc Toronto alternative.
Oh my!
I don't remember this jersey. I do not shop under the influence. It's got like this weird like stitching underneath the T that says Armias, which I mean, it was probably some kind of a different shirt. And then they just sewed this T over top of it. It's kind of unbelievable. And I definitely got to order a Cali Yarncroc, a real one.
Man, I'd say you maybe Callie's family members or parents are the only people to have that jersey. But I mean, it's vintage. It's nice. It's classic, right? It's classic. It's your boy. Yeah. I think that's my best kind of shopping, to be honest, under the influence. It's when I do my best work.
Well, I mean, someone probably is going to see this and laugh, so it's not a complete loss. And most of them are hits. I've got some beauties. I got another one that should be delivered today. I got an email this morning, so I'm hoping it's my Lawson Krause.
Oh my goodness. We tried a true hockey psycho. This guy, man, ordering third, fourth line players. You and I chatted before we
Lawson Krause plays on the second line, buddy.
Yeah, well, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. MMA diehard podcast is like, whoa. He's our second line winger here, centerman. But on most teams, he'd be a third, fourth liner. That's no shots fired. He's actually a pretty good player. We've talked about him a lot on the show. But you and I chatted before we got on here too about. I also ordered some jerseys over the weekend too, so we'll see what happens. But we also chatted about the Habs and the Sharks, and we'll get to that game in just a little bit. But this is a blast for the past. I told you before I got on, I was like, you know what? I think the Habs won in San Jose last year, but I believe it was their first time winning in San Jose since like the 90s. Like, no, can't be. Even though they only make one trip every year. And it's true. They won last year 4-0. It was their first victory in San Jose since 1999. They had lost 12 straight games in San Jose. And this, and I'm going to say what up to the people here in a little bit, but we're all Dennis Gary on update today. Oh, I love it, Adam. We are all hockey psychos here, but this is the box score from 1999. And I'm a true psycho because I kind of remembered some of the players on the team. They won 3-2 in San Jose, 1999. Craig Ribe with the overtime winner.
Oh, yeah.
Craig Ribe was later
Everyone remembers him.
He later shipped to San Jose, got a first-round pick in return, drafted Max Pacioretty, also got Josh Georges in the deal. That ended up being one of the best Habs deals that I can remember. Pacioretty now shipped for Suzuki, win, right? Trade tree, long, deep.
Yep.
Sergei Zoltuk with a goal there from Oleg Petrov, Danius Zubris, Martin Ruzinski, who was involved in the Patrick Waugh trade. Ruzinski assisted from Trevor Linden and Carl Dykhouse. So I remember Vincent Damphus had a goal and an assist. Damphus, former Hab, was a Shark at the time. Owen Nolan picked up an assist. And Jeff Franson, remember him?
I don't remember him.
Guy too. Pat Falloon too. He's a Shark. When I think of the Sharks, I think of Pat Falloon, and I think of course, Marlowe and all those guys. But Artur Zerbe. Artur Zerbe was probably in between the pipes here. Let's just.
He had the weirdest stance. He was like in like a squat behind his pads. Old hockey was cool.
It was Mike Vernon in that.
Wow,
I don't think of Vernon for the Sharks, right? I think of Vernon for like the Flames.
Calgary. That's the only thing I can think of.
All right, what do you think of the Timo Meier deal? You and I have talked about it for a couple of weeks about the Devils, where they stay the course. You know, we love the direction of the team. Maybe a lot better a year earlier than maybe some would have thought. Expectations in New Jersey. I mean, they have a ton of prospects. We wondered all year, if this team would make a significant move and trade some of their pieces away. They got Timo Meier. Not only did they get Timo Meier, they didn't really have to trade too much to get him. I thought the return was actually underwhelming for Mike Greer and the San Jose Sharks. I didn't think it was a fantastic return. Timo Meier is not a rental, right?
No.
Okay. They're probably going to lock this guy up. I love the move for New Jersey. And man, Jack Hughes has been putting up elite numbers all year long. He's played like almost half of his hockey with Jesper Bratt, but for the most part, he's played his hockey with, and no disrespect, but like Zetterlund and Eric Holla and Thomas Tatar and other guys that have just been on his
all fine players.
All fine players, but now you're going to get a guy who leads the NHL in expected goals at 5-5, high danger chances, shot attempts, shots. Whether he plays with Jack Hughes or he plays with his Swiss countryman Nico Hischier on that top line, this is a massive, massive win for the New Jersey Devils. It's
the best player he's ever played with, and it's not close. Like Jesper Bratt's a good player too, but Timo Meier is a superstar player, right? Like, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he gets over 10 in his next contract. Like you said, like the analytics support it. I don't think when I say underrated player, I think he might be the most underrated player, and part of that is he's played his entire career on a faltering San Jose Sharks team. San Jose Sharks, in my opinion, has the worst broadcast because of the camera angle. It's hard to watch hockey, and the games are always late at night. So you could say there is no East Coast bias, this, that, and the other, but there is. The reality is other than me and, other people that watch this show, no one's watching hockey at 1 a.m, on the East Coast. They're in bed. They got to go to work. I do not. So I'm awake watching San Jose Sharks stink it up. Timo Meier, I mean, you nailed it. Not enough of a return, in my opinion, for a superstar his level. Like, I don't know what's going on. It seems like the East teams are the only teams that want to win the Stanley Cup, and the West are they forfeiting? Is like, have they decided like we're not going to beat Tampa, we're not going to beat Boston, so we're just not doing anything? It's wild. Every team in the East is loading up, and the West, nothing has happened.
Nothing has happened. Little small moves. Evgeny Dadonov, by the way, which we were on at FTN Daily. Of course, you couldn't play him on DraftKings, but we had him. I picked him as a score a goal, and of course, he scored a goal. And I love the Dennis Garyanov call here tonight. It's just new blood, new scenario. You're going to see a giddy up in some of these guys' steps. But yeah, we haven't seen anything. Dadonov to Dallas, Barbashev to Vegas. These are not crazy moves. The West has been wide open. It feels like it's been wide open all season long. All of a sudden, the Colorado Avalanche have won 6 straight games. They've outscored their opponents like 30-10 over that span. Nathan McKinnon's on a heck of a run. So, yeah, I would say, apart from Colorado, the top 5 or 6 teams in the NHL are in the Eastern Conference. And now we could get a New Jersey, New York first round. We know we're probably getting Tampa and Toronto first round.
Good God.
And it's not going to be a pushover whoever Boston.
I better not have to go back to work.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm not working. I'm unemployed. And if I have to go back to work, I'm going to miss playoff hockey. I might have to retire for the.
I think you're going to have to. This is your work now, dude. This is your work now. So 10 games on the ice. We're going to get into them. But I just wanted to talk and get your thoughts about the Devils, because the Devils are not on the slate.
Great for the Devils, bad for the Sharks.
Yeah, they have moved from, I think, 17-1 to 10-1 to win the Stanley Cup. I saw 15-1 on DraftKings yesterday. I'm seeing 13-1 now. PointsBet offering 10-1. We want to say what up to everyone here in the house. Hammerhead Union, good morning. Thanks, fellas, for the shirt. I rocked it on the beach last week, and we saw the pick. I love all the picks from everybody.
Yeah,
rocking
keep the picks coming, man. It's so cool.
There's more to come. I got the package. You sent me the shirts that I got to deliver to our fellow Canadians, and I will get on that this week. I got to go pick them up here today. So welcome in, everybody, and we do appreciate that shot. I love it. Rocking it at the beach for all the people to see. Absolutely. Tampa, point, Kucherov, goal, Hedman, over. He's just giving plays nonstop. I love it. Love it. Adam Renkeb got my shirt, ready to talk puck with some degenerates. Welcome in. Let's cash tonight. I love my degenerate family. Here we go. Jason Prince in the house. Top of the morning, gentlemen. Meaney and the Madman. Welcome in. We love you. Evan Gallagher, excuse me. Thanks for the shirt. EY didn't lie. High quality. Absolutely. Gallagher, those shirts are real nice. Good morning. Happy snow day. Okay. Little snow day for you. Here we go. Columbus Blue Jackets will
It's 80
not
degrees
lose
in
to the
Nashville,
Sabres
just so you guys
after
know.
being embarrassed last time. 80 degrees must be nice. It is absolutely freezing here today. Denis Gurianov, our boy. He's been a little quiet. Not a little. He's been very quiet. Since the Dallas Stars Cup run, I thought he looked really good. There was a lot of promise with Denis Gurianov, but I think this is a great win as well. It's a great trade.
Yep.
Like, it's not obviously the same magnitude as Timo and these guys. Like, but you just traded Kent Hughes, basically turned Shea Weber's contract into Denis Gurianov. Traded Shea Weber's contract to Vegas, got Dadonov, traded Dadonov for Gurianov, got 8 years younger. Dadonov, 33 years old, not part of the rebuild at all. I was pretty shocked because there was a good part of this season where I thought that Dadonov, Monahan, Duran, these guys could be traded at the deadline, but I was thinking, man, they're not going to get anything for these guys. Maybe a 5th round pick for Denis Gurianov to get a 25-year-old kid who's an RFA. I'm excited, and I think he's going to get an opportunity to play with Suzuki. He's got a lot of speed to offer as well, so we'll see. Troy, Matty Beniers, 56 games played, 19 goals. Marchenko, 36 games played, 16 goals. You know, he's 20-1 to win the Calder. I'm sure you probably already have a bet already on that, but yeah, he's on a different level, as Troy likes to remind us here. Next year in fantasy, he's going to be prime breakout contender, playing top line with Johnny Boone. I would agree. Yeah, he's breaking out right now in front of our eyes, even though it is tough to call a rookie like breaking out. It's their first year. Daily Handle, good morning. Welcome in. Happy belated to you. Hopefully you had a great birthday yesterday. PTP EY means, oh baby, trade deadline Thursday. Exciting. A lot more trades. I don't know. What do you expect? Anything else to happen? I mean, Patrick Kane, Chychrun. When is Chychrun going to get traded? This guy's wasting away on one of my benches with no IR plus spot for weeks. What's happening there? Is
something's got to give, right? I mean, I think the truth is we're seeing, you know, the Arizona Coyotes they're playing this right. They set a price and they're in no hurry. They don't care that they're rotten, right? And they're going to continue to be rotten, and they're going to build, and they're going to collect assets, and they're going to collect prospects, and they're going to collect picks, and they're in the driver's seat, and they're proving it by holding this guy. You know, there's lots of arguments of like holding these players out. I mean, he obviously wants to play. He's handled it well. All of them do, but it is a strange time of year. I'm taking the day off from working out and doing anything. I will not leave my couch. 3 of my buddies are going to come over, other hockey psychos, and we're going to watch it. And probably not have anything to talk about because everything's happening now, it feels like. But there's so many teams, especially in the West, right? Like, it's still so wide open. Like, some of these teams are going to have to go for it. We're in a chat, and I keep saying Bonino's still available. Everyone's like, oh, nothing's going to happen. Nothing. And I just keep saying Nick Bonino's still available. And there's lots of players still available. And I don't care. We can talk about the trades that have already happened. We're going to have a great time. This time of year is awesome.
It is. You're going to watch on the American feed?
We're 13 minutes in, and we haven't talked about a single game yet.
No, not yet. I mean, we're going to say what up to the people, right? Trade deadline.
Yes.
It's an exciting time of the season.
I'm unemployed. I got nowhere to go. I'll stay here for 2 hours.
I got you can't get me laughing because I'll get in a coughing fit. I'm not feeling 100% lately myself. Powering through here today. Western Conference is letting the Eastern teams tear each other apart. Colorado will just waiting for a 4-1 series win over Dallas. Yeah. The Avs look fantastic. They're doing it without Kel McCarr. I thought they played like a phenomenal defensive game yesterday against the Vegas Golden Knights. I just thought they were unbelievable.
What a difference Nichushkin makes in that lineup, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're finally healthy for the first time. Bedard said it the same thing last night, right? They're playing their best hockey of the season, but they're also at full health for the first time all season. And still, right, missing Landeskog and
missing their captain. Yeah. I mean, they're at mostly full health.
Mostly, yeah.
And sure. I think you could argue that Landeskog is the most important player on this team, period.
Were you watching the Canadian feed or are you watching the American feed? Because they have they'll have a big thing at TSN, but there's going to be not a lot of players have already moved. They're going to spend 2 hours doing this Quizno quiz. Will Ryan O'Reilly play on the second line center or third line center? I guarantee it. That's going to be like almost half the show right there. Leaf Central. But I'm here for it too. I'll watch it all.
I'll watch it every second.
Watching the American feed. Okay, we'll get going here. Daily handle, yes. Leafs probably need to clear. They need to make another move, right? With acquiring McCabe and company, they're going to have to get somebody else off the books if they want to activate Matt Murray. We'll
Kerfoot, Engvall. I mean, something's got to give, right? Because they just can't fit those players in. So it's
to be honest, I didn't really like that McCabe trade. I like him overall as a player. He's tough as hell. Block a shot, throw a hit. But man, I just didn't really see a need of it personally to give up the first and the future. I'm really completely all in. Just didn't love that deal. Love the Ryan O'Reilly one. Just didn't love that one. Ruben. Yeah, DBC shirts for Canada on the way, dude. Going to come really soon. Sebastian in the house, finally able to catch a live show since the first time last year. Welcome back.
Yeah,
holy, love you. Even though you've been watching the live show, only downside I've been vomiting. Oh my goodness, throwing up. I can't miss it. Oof. Well, all the best. Powering
Everybody
through.
pushing through.
I'm powering through. No chance. Sebastian is powering through. This guy is not feeling 100% and still getting it done here with us. Welcome in. We appreciate you. We're going to get underway here in a second. Our guy, George. No curses for us last night. Domi with the late shot on goal. Not going to lie, guys. The last 4 or 5 days have been fantastic in the FTN bet tracker. Hopefully you guys jumped on that promo, hoops for $1. We're going to run some more promos, but we are up to 38.5 units over at FTN bets, and we've won about 30 in the last 4 days. We had a really good day yesterday. Again, nice to see my producer, George, winning. Also, my producer, Quan, winning as well yesterday. We had a pretty good day. I mean, Mason McTavish for a point at plus 110. We had a lot of good things in the bet tracker. We are up 16 units on sides, totals, and 6 on props. It's been a tough year for props. Books have really adjusted in terms of shot props. And we're going to get going here. JT Compher finally looks like he fits on the second line. Man. He's looked great. He's won like 50 faceoffs in the last 4 or 5 games too. He's one of those guys that if you're playing in a league with faceoff wins, it's just like a must own because he does have exposure to Mikko Rantanen and a little bit of power play time as well. I know you do. Yeah, you do. And the Avs got a good schedule this week. I'm not surprised you do. All right.
I had a bad year of fantasy football, but I'm dominating fantasy and hockey this year.
Are you? Yeah.
Oof, it's nasty.
One of my best teams is going through something at the moment. I got no
mine
goalies.
Too. Yeah, mine too.
I got no goalies. I had Logan Thompson. The other guy is Saros. I'm still fine with Saros. But like now JT Miller is out for a bit. I got Kale McCarr who's out for I don't know how long. He's been inconsistent. Forsberg's been out. And then I lost Alex Tuck in a lot of leagues week to week. We're going to get after it. Nobody cares about our fantasy hockey teams. Just care about winning some bucks here today. Where do we start? Let's start with Troy's Columbus Blue Jackets. Plus 179 for Columbus and Buffalo checking in at minus 211. Let's give you some live odds using our prop shop parlay calculator. And by the way, ftnbets.com/free, ftndaily.com/free. We are still running free trials on both of our websites. If you're into betting, obviously you are. You're hanging out in the show. You can get all the picks across all sports, projections, tools, Discord channel, ftnbets.com/free. And then if you're into DFS, we have articles every single day, Prize Picks plays, and I'm seeing a lot of people win some Prize Picks plays. We're hitting our stride, and I'm feeling pretty good about our team over at FTN. If you want to join the family, and you get all those picks, March Madness coming up, and full swing baseball coming up as well. So hang out with us. If you want any questions, you guys can always reach out at Chris Meaney, but promo code Meaney, save yourself a little bit of cash. Live odds here for this game. We do have the Sabres at minus 205 in Columbus. You can get at plus 180 over at BetMGM, the total at 6.5. Tage Thompson going, just quietly back into it again. He's like, I say quietly because there was a couple games in a row. It's like, where's Tage? And then he shows up big time. But wanted to give Dylan Cousins a little bit of love here, who's coming off the hat trick. And I noticed Quinn playing up on that top line in place of Alex Tuck. I think this should be a fun game. I kind of agree with Troy. I think we could see an upset. Excuse me. I'm going through something. Health is a concern here with me. You take it away. What do you got over there? I know you got like 5 or 6 goal scorers. We're going to see a lot of goals in this game.
Well, I got 4 goal scorers, and I'm in lockstep with you. I do four per game. Okay. I could do more, but look at guys. You got to have some restraint. As I'll rattle off 70 players that I think will score. Yes. So Columbus side, I got Marashenko. I know that puts a smile on Troy's face. Love this guy. He's only going to get better, and that's scary for teams that are going to have to face Columbus over the next couple of years. And I got Laine, still shoots the puck like a lunatic. Love watching him play. The Buffalo side, usual suspects for me, Tage Thompson's, and like you said, Dylan Cousins. Dylan Cousins is centering that top power play and playing some really important minutes for Buffalo. Big body, good skater, good vision. Love this guy as a player, man. Buffalo is going to be good for years.
They are. Imagine how good they would be if they hung on to Linus Ullmark.
Yep.
I mean, let's be real about it. It's pretty significant. They can't find any goaltending right now, and they're rotating through 3 guys every other night. Jack Quinn is the biggest value on the board in this game. Jack Quinn jumped up on that top line in the last game, played with Tage Thompson and Jeff Skinner. He picked up 2 assists. Jack Quinn is plus 145 for a point tonight. Are you kidding me? Plus 145 for a point. He's plus 270 for an assist. Not seen any shots on him. He's also plus 400 for a goal. So I'm probably going to ride all of that out. I'll probably get pretty aggressive on the point, maybe a 2-unit play on the point, maybe a unit on the assists, a unit on the goal. Playing with Tage Thompson, playing with Jeff Skinner, a high goal total here at 6.5. Both teams can't really get the goaltending, so I think we'll see some offense here in this game. But Cousins is red hot. As you mentioned, Cousins, I'd say Quinn is obviously a long shot, but Tage, Cousins, and then Boone Jenner shots, Tage shots. I agree. I see, man, you guys are all over it. I love it. There's a lot of plays you guys are bumping out here. I agree with this. If Dahlin is out, Owen Power, like maybe not scores tonight, and I like the call, but somebody you're going to want to have some exposure to in DFS. I think the minutes should be there from him. You know, he's going to get top power play time as well. And Dylan Cousins and Victor Olofsson is going to be on that power play with no Alex Tuck in there too. So there's a lot here. Everybody's kind of on the same page as us. Thompson goal, Cousins goal. And but I do want to give a little bit of look. Krebs long shot's pretty good. I did pick him up in a deeper league when Tuck went down. But Quinn, I think, is a pretty sneaky fantasy pickup too. Like, I think maybe in deeper leagues. I don't know if he's going to stick on that top line, but he's going to get an opportunity here. Right?
For now, I mean, for sure, if you're in a deeper league or you're in a league, where you're down a guy or you got somebody that you got to shift to the IR spot or out, Quinn playing with some really good players is going to be a very good player at some point. When Tuck comes back, I mean, he'll go back to his regular position where he was. But right now, I think he'd be a good guy to own.
Marchenko, you're on him too. And of course, our guy Troy's on him. He's plus money for 3 shots tonight, plus 102. That's pretty good. We've talked about him a lot. Troy's been bringing him up, I think, for maybe 2 years, to be honest with you. But he's plus 102 for a point, and he's plus 320 for an assist. I know he doesn't get a lot of assists. He's kind of been racking them up a little bit here and there. He's a shooter, and we love him. We love shooters on the show, especially when it comes to shot props. But he got 1 apple on the year. Can he find an assist tonight, or are we just picking him to score goals? The shots, he's had 4+ shots in 3 of his last 5 games, so I think over 2.5 is definitely in play. But the ice time is significant with him, which we alluded to in the last time Blue Jackets played. 18, 20 minutes, 19, 21. Can we get behind the plus 320? Troy, plus 320 for an assist tonight, or is he just scoring a goal? Like, what do you think, Eric, about that?
Obviously, he's a shooter, right? And, in leagues and when he has shooting talent like that, you want him doing that. But because of where he's playing, because of the minutes he's playing, and because, you can get an assist by shooting the puck at the goalie and it coming to it, hitting the goalie and coming to another guy. So, and because of the players he's playing with, he can get an assist any night. Not really his thing. And you can look at his stats right now. Not really his thing. But
not at all.
But there's worse bets.
There is. Plus 210 I'm seeing for a goal. I might take a shot. I'll probably do the point. Plus 102 for a point. Let's move on. Should be a fun game, though. It really should. What else do we got? Yeah, we got a ton of games. Let's go to the second half of what we saw last night between the Sens and Detroit. Man, Ottawa really took it to the Red Wings last night. Brady Tkachuk, man, this guy, he's just, I have nightmares over Brady Tkachuk. I can't believe the Canadians passed on him. Like, what the heck were you thinking, Bergevin? Like, a guy, like, you already knew Matthew was good. You already knew the pedigree, right? Keith was amazing in the league as well. You needed a power forward. They thought too much about the center position. I think they drafted like 7 centers that year. Passed it on Brady for Kotkaniemi, and Brady Tkachuk is just
whoops-a-daisy,
one of the best power forwards in the league. It should be a good one. Last night was fun. We were on Brady Tkachuk for shots and Tim Stützle. I like both of those guys again tonight. And we did call another goal in the FTN Daily article that I had. I was on Evgeny Dadonov, and I took a shot on Tyler Bertuzzi, who's on this list as well. I don't know what the Red Wings do. 3 weeks ago, I thought they were sellers. Now they could be buyers. They still don't have their captain locked up long term. Bertuzzi is a UFA coming up. They could flip him potentially, but ultimately, I do like him. -118 for a point tonight. You think the Sens roll again, or do we get a little bit of a pushback from Detroit tonight?
Detroit's right in the hunt too, right? So last night's game was great. Your point on Brady Tkachuk, like, he's one of my favorite players to watch, him and his brother both. I've got him in the 8-way Maniac parlay today. That's who I started it with. I believe Brady scores. And I think DeBrincat scores. On the Detroit side, Larkin probably playing the best hockey of his career. And surprise, surprise, right at the right time during contract season. And I also got Robbie Fabry. He's playing on the top power play, playing some important minutes, and has looked really, really good, in my opinion.
He has looked really good. Brady Tkachuk is at a decent price over at DK -135. I jump on that soon. It's getting to like -150 in some spots. Oh, Wallman signed. Nice. I like that. What's the contract, man? He's a player.
3.4. I think it was. It's a pretty good deal.
How much?
3.4.
Really? Oh, just a short bridge deal.
Yeah, I think it's 2 years, maybe.
Oh, I thought honestly they were going to lock him up for like 8 years or something like that. But he is great, and he's owned in 2% of fantasy leagues. Now he gets a little bit of power play time. He only has 10 points on the year. He had 7 blocks last night. He had 8 shots the other night against Tampa Bay. He's all over the ice. He logs a lot of minutes. He's a really nice player for them. But I like Tyler Bertuzzi again. Tyler Bertuzzi, you can get a decent. I saw him for 1.5 shots, I think, at Unibet, but you can get over 2.5 shots at +106 at FanDuel. He's got 9 shots in his last 2 games. He's starting to heat up a little bit. It's been a pretty rough 2 years, I think, for him. Off the ice, on the ice, some stuff, some injuries and things like that. But ultimately, that's why I called him for a goal last night, because he's been all over it. He's been really close, and he finally broke out last night. And I like Perron and Bertuzzi on that top line with Larkin. So I think those 3 guys, that would be the way that I would go. Dylan Larkin, 11 shots in his last 2 games, and then David Perron, who scored last night. I'm not interested in his shot prop. He's been too inconsistent, but I do think that line tonight is very, very interesting. I do agree. I was watching that game. I did see some pretty shady reffing. Ottawa got some favorable calls. I think Larkin scores tonight. So high total again, over 6.5. Give me a winner.
Hellberg played. I think they'll probably have Husso in that tonight. So I think Detroit wins. And there could be some goals. I don't know if I could go 6.5 or above, but I'd probably say under, and I think Detroit wins tonight.
Toronto boy, Wallman, played at Providence prior to the NHL. Under, says Hammerhead Union. I lean over. All right, Florida and Tampa. Speaking of goals, 7 the total here. Lightning -165. The Panthers at +145. We know that Barkov is not going to play in this game. I don't know when he's going to come back, but he is ruled out of this game. And we saw Anthony Duclair, who we touched on, I think, last week. We knew that he was going to come back fairly soon, and he picked up 4 shots and 5 hits. Now, the 5 hits is actually pretty rare. Yeah. It's not something that he does a whole lot. So I wouldn't get too carried away about picking him up and like, oh, we can provide you a lot of hits. But he is definitely going to have a role inside the top 6. He played 17-26 in his first game, and he picked up an assist. tough spot tonight against Tampa Bay, no question, but he is somebody I think to have on your radar when it comes to fantasy hockey and things like that. But keep in mind the Panthers only have 2 games next week. Carter Verhaeghe, man, he's my guy. Former Bolt here, right? Goals in back-to-back games. He's got 11 shots. He's just having a fantastic season this year. What do you got for some goal scorers over there? Verhaeghe's my guy. I go to him all the time.
Yeah, I got on the Tampa side, I got Kucherov and Stamkos playing on separate lines, playing on the power play together. Those are the guys for me that I usually go to. Every now and then I'll mix in Hagel or Killorn if I've got a gut feeling. But I think if guys are good, or Point, he's been playing really well as well. And on the Florida side, we're in lockstep again for Hagee and Reinhart. Reinhart centering that top power play and playing. I mean, with Barkov out, it is playing some really important minutes for Florida right now.
Yeah, he really is. A lot of these Florida guys are, better odds and better prices just because of the matchup against the Lightning. But Victor Hedman's been shooting quite a bit, -135 at DraftKings. Ekblad's been shooting quite a bit as well, a little bit more juice, -145. Montour, -145. Both of those guys, I kind of lean Montour a little bit more because I think he's more active. He joins the rush a bit more, but Ekblad's also been shooting. Carter Verhaeghe's at +110 for 3.5. Braden Point at 2.5 as well. I think we'll see some offense in this game. Spencer Knight's not going to be with the team for a little bit here, and Bobrovsky's just been too inconsistent. So Lightning coming off a tough loss, but it was the second half of a back-to-back against the Panthers, and Brian Elliott was in between the pipes there for Tampa Bay. Okay, let's continue to move on here. Let's go to Nashville. Preds +116, Pittsburgh Penguins -135. We had a pretty good last time the Preds played. They were playing Arizona. We cleaned the board, dude. We cleaned the board in terms of props in that game. We had Clayton Keller on the Arizona side for shots, Barrett Hayton for shots. And on Nashville, I had to sweat this one out, but Mikael Granlund was at 1.5. I'm like, he doesn't shoot that much, but it is Arizona. He's getting some ice time. We got 2 shots from him late in that game. We had Thomas Novak plus money for a point, +210 for an assist. He picked up a goal and an assist. And Matt Duchene had a night, and he had over 3 shots. I like that top line again tonight. It's a lot of opportunity, but walk us through the trade and Boyle and now Trotz back with Nashville. There's a lot happening with the Preds here.
Yeah, I mean, there was lots of speculation it was going to be Barry Trotz. I'm not going to make any proclamations at this point because, I mean, here's the reality is I think it feels good to people that are fans of this team. I mean, Barry Trotz is somebody that still lives here, has a home here, was a coach and a very successful one for years here, didn't win a Stanley Cup, but I mean, every year, even when they were at the cap floor, was a competitive team, a guy that did a lot in the community, a good man, and somebody who is respected by everybody in the business and outside of the business. My cautionary tale would be this, is Barry Trotz has never been a GM at any level. I don't think being a GM is rocket science if you understand the cap and understand hockey, but not being a GM and not having a relationship with any of these other GMs, the rumor is, and I think it's been mostly confirmed, that he's been working with David Poile for quite a while now as, a consultant.
Grooming him, right?
And he's got his fingerprints all over this Jeannot trade. And I don't know what world we're living in, but Taylor Jeannot just got more back than Timo Meier did. And you're not going to find a bigger Taylor Jeannot fan anywhere than me. But
Tanner
Jeannot. I mean, it's unbelievable, right? The haul that the Nashville Predators got for him is unbelievable. I respect the Tampa Bay Lightning too. Look, you're going for it. And Jeannot, it obviously was somebody that was highly sought after. And if he wasn't, then Tampa Bay wouldn't have to pay that. So there was obviously other teams in the hunt. And Nashville made out like bandits here. Losing Jeannot, it is a blow for the Predators, but they're not in a win now, right? They're in.
No, they're realizing they got to sell. Yeah.
They this should have started last year. And I said this a couple podcasts ago saying, it's too little too late. But that Jeannot trade is going to help them going forward. Hurting them in the right now, but they're not competing for anything right now. What they're competing for is prospects, picks, and young players, and they just crushed it.
Yeah, good trade for Nashville. I don't actually hate it as much as everybody else for Tampa Bay. Like, who cares?
Me neither.
The fourth and fifth round
they're trying to win a Stanley Cup. Look at that third line. Good luck.
Right. I know.
Good luck, Toronto. And good luck, Boston. Good luck.
People just underestimate the significance of a bottom six for a playoff run. Everybody laughed when they traded a first-round pick for Blake Coleman. He had a career-high 36 points. 36 points. He had a career-high 36 points, and they gave a first-round pick for him. Barclay Goodrow was a third-line player. They gave up a first-round pick for him. Yes, they gave up a lot. Reports suggested that Nashville wanted 2 firsts. Instead, they gave up the 5 picks. But as Brisebois said, the GM of Tampa, I mean, this is also a team that drafts really well, by the way. They find diamonds in the rough in the 4th and the 5th and the 6th round. They don't have a first for the next 3 years. They don't pick this coming year in the draft until the 6th round. They have like a 6th and 2 7th. This is a guy that just gets it. And I forget his quote, I'm paraphrasing, but he talked about how, these picks, they're probably not going to be able to find a player like Jeannot. Jeannot is going to be under contract. They're going to sign him RFA.
Player like Jeannot doesn't exist.
Exactly. So they feel like they're getting a player that they like, that they may not have gotten with all of those picks. And guess what? They're win now. They've been to the Stanley Cup Finals in 3 straight years. So we can laugh all we want about Brisebois. The Preds did great, but ultimately, I don't mind the trade from Tampa Bay because they know what they're doing. And in the playoffs, you need those bottom 6 guys.
Don't take me celebrating the haul that Nashville got, downplaying to what Tampa Bay did. Tampa Bay got one of the strongest guys in the NHL, a great skater, has a good shot, is a great teammate, leads the league, and I think is up there in fighting majors. I think that's not going to make a ton of difference in the playoffs because people don't fight. But Ross Colton, Nick Paul, and Taylor Jeannot, nobody wants to play against those 3. Nobody.
No.
And Tampa is trying to win now. Draft picks are great, guys. First-round draft picks are great. But in the end, they're lottery tickets.
Yeah.
Drafting somebody in the first round means nothing. It means nothing. Right. How many times can you point out that these guys don't become the players that everyone thinks they're going to be?
For sure. Like the success rate is obviously higher in the first and second, but that's going to be those are all late picks. Like the third's basically a 4th. The 4th is a 5th. The 5th is a 6th, right? Considering how good this team's going to be. And before we wrap up from this conversation, I think that everybody out there, if you were a GM or, an owner, you would forfeit a couple first round picks for a Stanley Cup, for a World Series, for a Super Bowl. Ask the Rams. Do the Rams care that they're not picking in the first round this year? They don't care. They traded Stafford. They got Stafford for the first. They had a brutal year. They got their Super Bowl, man. It does not matter. The Lightning are win now. Plus, they do have a benefit of playing where they play and having these friendly contracts because of the state taxes. Like guys like Point and Kucherov and Hedman and Vasilevsky, these guys would be Mika Stamkos. These guys have all taken hometown discounts. They can afford to be aggressive when it comes to the draft. So that's my take on it. I think we have the same take actually, but it's good for the Preds, right? It's good. You're missing a nice player that you liked. Unsustainable shooting percentage last year, unsustainable low shooting percentage this year as well. But it was, of like, whoa, 5 picks for a third line player that's going to get 13 minutes per game in the playoffs. But I'll tell you what, he's going to show up for sure. What do you think about this game tonight? What do you got for goal scorers?
Goal scorers. We've got Tommy Novak. Nice. I do want to toot my horn a little bit. I said at the start of the year that I couldn't believe that he didn't make this roster. He was he played 4th line and some 3rd line last year and wasn't a standout statistical player. But if you're a person that watches the games, and I do, Tommy Novak jumped off the screen every time he was on the ice. Something good happened, and he made every right play. This is a guy that has done very well in the AHL, and right now it is to the eye test and probably statistical wise is the Nashville Predators' best player, and wasn't on the team to start the year. That's problematic. But I got Novak to score again tonight, got plus 210, and Duchesne, our guy. He's right there on the board and played really well against Arizona. He's a plus 180. Pittsburgh side, I got Crosby and Malkin. Man, Pittsburgh's in trouble, man. There's something going on.
They better go on a run.
It wouldn't surprise me if Nashville wins this game. They don't need to win this game. It doesn't matter to them, but they're playing so loose. Young players are playing with fire, trying to show that they belong. And Pittsburgh they're on a slippery slope right now. It's a mess.
They are in a playoff spot, but a lot of teams have games in hand on them. Yeah, they need to go on a run, and they need to go on a run in a hurry. They can't really get the goaltending either. I'm not a big fan of Tristan Jarry. I know people on the show have talked about Jarry, but man, he needs to pick it up. He needs to be much better. Yeah. There's some rumors out there about them, knocking on the door, maybe Thatcher Demko and things like that, but probably not going to see that move. I don't know how you don't take a shot on Novak. I mean, he's got goals in back-to-back games. He's got 5 over his last 5 games. He's actually plus 360 to score tonight over at FanDuel. I think that's a pretty good price. Plus 102 for a point, plus 180 for an assist. His shot props at 1.5, albeit it's juiced. And also, this is a long shot play, but he is plus 520 to pick up a power play point. Plus 520. I got to write that one down because that one's going on the bet tracker. He's got power play points in back-to-back games. Got 3 power play points over his last 5 games. He checks in actually riding a 6-game point streak, 5-game point streak where he's got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points over that span. So he's red hot, guys. Like, You've been calling it nonstop, but now we're really seeing the big time boost in ice time with some of these key players that are out of the lineup. Does Forsberg come back anytime soon? Do you feel like they could potentially shut him down?
He's day to day. I don't know, man. There's not a lot of information about it. It looked pretty nasty when it happened. I think the original thing was they said it's not as serious as they originally thought. But past that, there's really been no information. So, surprise.
I might have to cut ties with him in one of my leagues. Just can't wait around. All right, let's keep going on here. LA, we got LA and Winnipeg on the board. Kyle Connor, Adrian Kempe, our guys we've been talking about for a couple of years. These are the volume shooters on both squads here. The Jets at minus 142, and we have the LA Kings checking in at plus 122. And those are pretty much the odds. You see actually Winnipeg at minus 134. So maybe a little bit of money coming in on the LA Kings here tonight. What do you make of this matchup?
Should be good, man. I mean, LA is they're battling, right? They're battling right now. Quick start of the other night, just got absolutely lit up. He looks pretty cooked. Copley obviously is not the long-term answer, but he saved their bacon and has been pretty good for Los Angeles. Connor Hellebuyck is being Connor Hellebuyck and has been all year. We've talked about the Winnipeg Jets all year, saying that this is probably the least talked about and most underrated team in the NHL right now. And they got better. They just got Nino Niederreiter, who's a really good player that can play top 6 minutes. Big dude, physical guy, great on the forward check. This is exactly what Winnipeg need. That's a good move for them. LA, usual suspects, Kempe and Fiala, both love to shoot the puck, both playing on the top power play, both playing in the top 6. Like both of these guys. And the Winnipeg, it's the usual suspects again. It's Connor. This is a Connor show. And I'm going back to PLD.
Okay. Yeah. Pierre-Luc Dubois, George's boy. Kempe 2.5. You're going to have to put into a parlay. I do like Kyle Connor at plus 115 for over 3.5 shots. I like the Nino addition too. It just gives them a little bit more stability inside their top 6. Like they can't have Mason Appleton playing on the top line. They can't take, nothing against Appleton, but he's better suited as a 3rd-line player. And Daily Faceoff has Ehlers, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Nino Niederreiter up on that top line tonight. Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, Blake Wheeler. That's a much better top 6. It's a little bit more sound. Nino is interesting tonight. We're talking about new players. We hit Dadonov last night. Plus 240 for an assist, plus 102 for a point. That's not too bad. Plus 102 for a point. I can get behind that one. Hit the score sheet tonight. I like it. Plus 250 over at FanDuel for him to find the back of the net. Let's head to San Jose. Let's do it before we wrap up with Game Plus Network. As we mentioned off the top of the show, the Habs have 1 win in San Jose since 1999, but I don't care at all. the Sharks should not be minus 160 to win a hockey game. No
No.
matter who the opponent is. I am definitely jumping on board here with the Habs at plus 140. I've been a sucker before. Everyone that knows me, listen, I'm realistic. I've been betting against the Habs for 2 years now, every single night almost. But they've been playing decent hockey. They got 5 wins in the last 10 and playing 500 hockey. But this is, let's be honest about what the Sharks are as well, right? This is a team that only has 4 wins in their last 10 games. They're 18, 30, and 12. They have a negative 44 differential. The Habs have a negative 51 differential. These are two teams that are atrocious, but Timo Meier is not there. Daily Faceoff has Dennis Gurianov on that top line. I don't think there's anything concrete about that, but in my opinion, I do believe that they're going to put him next to Nick Suzuki here tonight. I know Josh Anderson's been playing on that right side with Suzuki, but I think we're going to see Gurianov on that top line with Suzuki, and I'm highly, highly interested. But the one guy that I really wanted to give a little bit of love to is Michael Matheson. Matheson's playing really good, man. A lot of ice time, 27 minutes the other night. He is too juice for a shot, like 2 shots, minus 175, but he's plus 144 for an assist. He's minus 102 for a point. I've been playing him and Suzuki just together on DraftKings because they play together on the power play, and they touch the puck quite a bit. It rolls through both of those guys. And also Bet365 for like a same game parlay. You're going to get some pretty decent odds for both of those guys to hit the score sheet tonight. Matheson to pick up a power play point is plus 370. What do you got over there for us?
Suzuki and Anderson. I don't know about moving Anderson. He's been playing really well in that position. This is a guy, he's never panned out. Like, he played in Columbus. People loved him. Everyone's like, oh, this is the next Tom Wilson. He goes over to Montreal. They get him. You think he's going to, turn into this superstar player. Has never really been put it together consistently, but he's been playing really good hockey.
I'm a fan.
And playing on that top power play. Like you said, San Jose is actively trying to get worse, right? Like, a bunch of the players are looking over their heads. I joked earlier, but Nick Bonino is a valuable player for the bottom 6, a guy that's won Stanley Cups, wins face-offs, kills penalties. I wouldn't be surprised if he's moved along with some other players in San Jose. They're all looking over their shoulder. I like the Canadians to win here tonight. San Jose, I'm going Couture and Hurdle. Barabanov with honorable mention, a guy that I bet on to score before. But if I'm going to bet, and it's going to be on Hurdle and Couture on the San Jose side.
Yeah, you're right about I like those calls. You're definitely right about Josh Anderson, like, playing really good. I like him as a player. I mean,
me too. Always have.
He's a power forward. He's a rare power forward. Suzuki got rocked the other night. It was a questionable hit. Anderson dropped the gloves and fought him right away. You just need those guys on your team. And I don't think he's going anywhere. The contract is not crazy. It's not awful. He doesn't really, contribute for assists, but he kind of puts his head down and drives the net hard. He shoots the puck. He's plus 115 for 3 shots. We've been riding him out for a couple weeks. We'll see if Garano's on that top line or they stick with Suzuki. Maybe they stick Anderson with Suzuki. It's possible. Our guy, Mikey Esimont, has quickly just went to a price where we can't even play this guy anymore. He's minus 155 for 3 shots. What the heck is that? We bet him for 3 games in a row, and now you just can't bet him. His odds, Vegas is telling you there's a better chance of Mikey Esimont getting 3 shots tonight than Braden Point getting 3 shots tonight, which is just wild. But he still is fairly cheap in DFS. He's still getting a pretty decent opportunity on that top line with Logan Couture and your boy Alexander Barabanov. So I think Esimont is I think he's pretty interesting anyways tonight. But for me, it will be Josh Anderson 3 shots. I like Suzuki as well. Can we get decent odds on Suzuki maybe for an apple? He's not plus money, but I do feel like he's in for, maybe a 2-point night. I did see that from Hammerhead Union, a 2-point night for Suzuki. Maybe we can get behind that one as a group here. Love it. Plus 540 for Dennis Gurianov goal, plus 540. We got to say goodbye to Game Plus Network. We went a little long. We appreciate you guys. Hop on over to our FTN Network YouTube page. We got 2 or 3 games to wrap up here, and we are going to call some goal scorers and wrap up with our favorite sides. One goal scorer for Game Plus. Who is it?
If I had to say anybody, I'm going to go with, let's go Kachuk. Brady.
Brady Kachuk, monster game. He had 5 shots in the first period yesterday. What a beast. Okay, hop on over to our FTN Network YouTube page. Good luck on the ice, and we'll talk to you guys on Thursday. Cheers. Okay, let's continue to roll here. Did you see Brady Kachuk too? Like when he went by the bench, he's like,
love it.
Who wants it?
Who wants it?
Effing wants it. And the answer is nobody.
No one.
Nobody wants it. What an animal, man.
Love it, dude. Love it.
Okay, Bruzeese 91 in the house. You guys rock. We appreciate you. Started listening to the podcast this year. Solid research and advice. We do appreciate you for that comment. Where does Patty Kane go? Where does Patty Kane go? And did you see the guy at the Rangers game with the Patty Kane jersey already on? Did you see that clip?
It's happening. Right?
That's your pick?
It's happening. Yeah. He doesn't want to go anywhere else. He made it very clear. He's got all the control and all the power. If Chicago doesn't move him and get something, they're going to look like fools. That's where he wants to go. That's where he's going to go. I don't know how they make it work cap-wise, but, man, as a person that put, for me, a significant amount on the New York Rangers to play for the Stanley Cup this year,
I'm with you. We got them at 17-1, I think.
I'm sitting pretty.
Shesterkin's got to be a lot better. I'll tell you that. He's not the same. He's not who he was
last season. That's for sure.
No. He needs to step it up a little bit. Let's go to Calgary. What an entertaining game last night between the Bruins and the Oilers. Man, the Bruins had a 5-on-3 late in that game, and Edmonton had like 3 or 4 quality chances to tie it up. It was very unlike Boston, up on 5-on-3 and then giving up all these crazy odd man rushes. Patrice Bergeron let me down last night. It was a great night in the bet tracker. We had a lot of success, but I had Patrice Bergeron for a point, and he did not hit the score sheet, and that top line did not hit the score sheet at all. But Mikael Backlund's on this board. He continues to play really good hockey for the Calgary Flames. He's been a top 30 fantasy hockey player over the last month in leagues with faceoff wins. He's picking up power play points, shorthanded points. He's shooting the puck every single night like an absolute psycho, and we love that here on Dangle Bet Sully because we like to target shot props. And a couple times I've seen Backlund against tougher opponents and the prices drop down a little bit. I still like him tonight, even though it's a matchup against the Bruins. He is at -139. So that's just a guy that you could maybe have on your list for a potential same game parlay or just straight up parlay with a couple other guys for juice shot props. But he's a guy that I wanted to just bring to your attention. On the other side, I like Jake DeBrusk. He's another guy too that continues ever since he's been back in line. He's just had such a really good season. This time last year, he requested a trade. They put him on the top line, and then he said, all right, fine, I won't get traded. Don't trade me. I'm fine here in Boston playing with Bergeron and Marchand. He's -130 for 3 shots tonight, so I'm going back to him as well. What do you got for goal scorers?
Yeah, I'm going DeBrusk to score tonight. Playing on that top power play, playing on that top line with Bergeron and Marchand. So I love that. He's been great all year and has rewarded me a bunch of times. And then Pasta, of course, at 105, plus 105. Calgary side, I'm going to Foley and Kadri.
I love it. Yeah, I like this call on Toffoli. He's just been, my goodness, how consistent has Tyler Toffoli been? Bruzeese 91 in terms of shot props. I don't know if there's been a guy that's been more automatic than him over the last 2 months. Seriously, listen to this: 3, 3, 6, 3, 3, 3, 3, 5, 2, 5, 3, 3, 4, 3, 3, 5, 3, 3. He has cleared 2.5 shots in every game but one since January 12th, and he's never been at 3.5. He's always at 2.5. He's -137 at Unibet and Bet Rivers. Now he's getting a little bit up there, -152.5 at DraftKings. Toffoli and Mikael Backlund have just been money makers over the last 2 months. He says exactly right. This guy has been a walking shot prop machine, and he's scoring goals, right? I mean, he's a goal scorer, 25 goals in the season, 27 assists. He loves to shoot the puck, and he he's been clutch. Yeah, he has been clutch. I like it. Bergeron shutout hurt, but hit Rupe and Dome Domi. Yeah, Domi for sure was good to us yesterday. There's no question about it. He's been playing really good. I think he's got like
He's been in Chicago all year.
Yeah, he has. He's got a lengthy point streak happening. He's hitting his shot props lately, picking up some assists. He was plus money last night for a point, for an assist rather, and he picked up 2 helpers. All right, what else do we have? We're out of boards. So I think we have 3 more matchups here to discuss. We got the Islanders and the Minnesota Wild. If I've ever seen an under in my life, this one is it, but I can't get behind it because it's minus 140 for the under 5.5. The Wild just don't score goals. And by the way, Anthony Beauvillier, how about a change of scenery for a player? He's been better in terms of points. He's got more than Horvat.
You see this happen a lot, right? And you're happy to see it. Beauvillier coming out of junior was a guy that played fast and shot the puck and, used his skating. And I mean, the Islanders, a little bit of an improvement in those areas this year under a different coach, but they were structure first, defense, block shots, and that's not really how Beauvillier plays. And in Vancouver, that's how they play, and he's a great fit for that system. And it's going to be a great player for them. And if they can hold on to him, I think they should.
I don't see a lot of goals, but I'd imagine you have a couple. Kaprizov's been unbelievable. He's like
Kaprizov
the team on the back.
He's been automatic, right? And I'm going back to Boldy because of the players he plays with, his position, his contract, where he plays, top power play. So I got him and Boldy on the Minnesota side. On the Islander side, Horvat and Nelson. They have been all world for the Islanders. I feel like these guys have points in every single game since Horvat came over. Horvat and Nelson to score on the Islander side.
Kaprizov's coming off the hat trick. He's got a bunch of goals over the last couple of weeks, up to 37 quietly. I think he can make a push for 50. He's minus 160 though for 4 shots. He has been shooting a lot, but I don't think I can really get behind that one. Let's see, Joel Eriksson Ek was probably at Prop Shop's your friend, guys. I mean, it's just like Google search. I love it. Minus 165 is your best friend. Saves me a lot of time and a lot of cash. Minus 165 is a bit much. Plus 130 over at Bet Rivers for 4 shots. I don't know. Boldy, you like Boldy at Josh D in the house? What do we think about Matt Boldy? I mean, you like him to score. I feel like we just go to the same 2 Wild players all the time because, I mean, they're in the bottom 3 in terms of goals scored at 5 and 5 per 60 over the last 3 months.
They literally cannot score.
Out of that top line and Boldy, that's it. Boldy is plus 120 for 4 shots. It's a bit much. It's I don't know if I really like it. I'm not seeing him pop up anywhere else. It's just on FanDuel. Josh, I don't know what you're thinking there. Boldy had 3 shots. He says, I don't know. Yeah. So maybe a book is offering 2.5 for you. It's probably significantly juiced. It's a little high for me, man, to ask for 4, even though he is such a shooter, and especially on that power play. When you watch the Wild power play, he is the trigger man on that power play. Yep. He did have 4 shots in his last game. I can't really get behind it. I think it's too much, Josh. That's just my initial take there. Sorokin shutout. I mean, either one of these guys could get a shutout. I see like a 2-1 game, a 2-0, 3-2. I think the under will hit in this game. And let's go to Seattle. We got the Kraken at home against the St. Louis Blues. Actually, sorry, the Blues are at home. They're plus 140, and the Kraken check in at minus 150. Matty Beniers is on a bit of a run again. He's super quiet. He suffered the injury, came back from the injury, and he didn't do a whole lot. But he didn't do anything against the Leafs. But he does have 3 multi-point games over his last 5 contests. Him and Jordan Eberle would be my 2 guys tonight to get some offense on the board here against a brutal Blues team. I saw Adam say earlier, was it Adam? He said he expected Colton Parayko to get traded. I don't know. Is he going to get traded? He's really.
I heard they were shopping him. I did hear that too. Yep.
Interesting. They'd be a great get for anybody.
Yeah, really
I think the Blues should hang on to him, but probably a good return. What do you got over
there? Seattle side, I got Jared McCann and Ella Tolivin playing. He's the trigger guy on that top power play, and St. Louis is not playing for a whole lot, pretty undisciplined, and had been most of the year. Take penalties. St. Louis side, I got Jordan Kyrou and Buchnevich. Don't feel good about any of those. But
yeah, I don't feel too great about any of it either, to be honest. But Seattle should be able to generate something tonight against Bennington in the St. Louis Blues, who, they're pretty checked out. They're trading some of their leaders away. They traded their best defensive forward away a couple weeks ago in Ryan O'Reilly. So I'm not super.
It's a mess, right? I mean, Berube comes out and says these guys are making all this money and nobody cares. Thomas fires back and says, I don't think it's that way. It's disappointing that he'd say that. Jeez, guys.
That's not a good look.
How the mighty have fallen. This is one of the best teams over the last 5 years. Yeah. And they're a tire fire right now. An absolute tire fire.
I actually don't feel good about any shot props either in this game. I see McCann shots. Yeah, he's been hitting a little bit here. He's plus 122 for 3 shots over at Unibet and Bet Rivers. He's plus money across the board, DK and FanDuel as well. Kyrie's the guy for the Blues if you're going to go anyway. You think the Islanders make the playoffs? Myron, Islanders trying to make a run, I see.
I don't think so.
No, they play too many games. They really do need to probably rattle off wins in 7 of their next 10. Something like that. There's still a lot of hockey left.
Could happen, but they've just been so inconsistent.
All right. I think we only have one more game left. We saved the best for last. The Battle of Connor Bedard. Chicago and Arizona. Yeah. You look confused over there. Did you not write anything down on your list for Chicago?
Oh, no, I got it.
Yeah, you got it.
Lawson Krause.
Let's see if I can guess.
I went away from Lawson Krause today.
No way. Come on. He's scoring tonight for sure.
I got an even better pick.
Okay. You got to be riding Max Domi.
Oh, for sure. I've been riding Domi all year. Domi and Ty Radish on the Chicago side, and on Arizona, I'm going Keller and Nick Bukestad. Nick Bukestad was all over the ice, touched the puck a ton, was playing really, really good against Nashville. He's going to get one to go tonight, I believe.
I'm surprised Domi's shot prop is at minus 125 over at Bet Rivers. Yesterday when we gave it, it was minus 125 when I gave the board to George. And by the time I did the show, Mean Streets, within half an hour, it moved to minus 175. Now, I'm not saying that I had anything to do with that, clearly or not, but everybody was on Domi yesterday, and the odds just changed considerably. This is still a really good matchup. It was the best possible matchup last night against the Ducks, who give up more shots than anybody. But Arizona still, you got the fun narrative revenge. But it's really just about the ice time with Domi. It's something that we've talked about. He's having a career year. We did have a really good season with the Habs. People forget he had 70 points with the Habs. He had a really good season with them. That's his outlier year. But 18 goals, 31 assists, just significant ice time from him. And he's got a point in 7 straight games, 5, 6, 7, 11, 13, 14 points over that span, 12 shots over his last 2 games, 8 against the Sharks, 4 against the Ducks. He's cleared 2.5 in 3 straight in 4 of his last 5. I don't know how we can't. We got to go to him, right? London Knights rock. Domi the man. I love that comment. Minus 125 for Domi for 3 shots. DK's minus 140. For shot props, that's around my limit. Minus 140 for a single bet. Anything around minus 145, minus 150, you got to be putting them in the parlays. But he's plus 100 for an assist as well, Max Domi. And I could get behind the goal. You got the goal. I see that he has plus 240 at BetMGM for him to score a goal tonight. Josh D, do you like Keller over 2.5 shots or over an assist? He has 1 assist his last 3 games. I like the shots. Personally. I think it's a little bit easier to predict shots than it is to predict an assist. The ice time is there. The shot attempts are there. The matchup is fantastic. The Blackhawks in the second half of the back-to-back depleted. They're missing a lot of key. They don't have a lot of great players, but they are missing their 2 best forwards in Taves and Patrick Kane. They just traded McCabe away, so they're pretty depleted. And you can get minus 118 for Keller. I actually like that one quite a bit, Josh. So I think both plays are in play. I wouldn't be shocked if he picked up an Apple. I like Hayton as well. I like that top line, man. They generate a lot of offense. Hayton's been playing really good over the last month and a half. And I think Shane Gostisbehere is in play for shots as well. I mean, he's been shooting quite a bit. He's going to have all the ice time he can handle over the next little bit with Trickern most likely traded. We'll see. Never thought I'd be cheering for my Hawks to lose / tank. Get Bedard. Woohoo. Every time the Habs win, I get depressed. A little bit depressed because they go further and further away from Connor Bedard. So the battle of Bedard tonight in San Jose between the Habs and the Sharks. Well, the Habs are starting to pull away from the bottom of the pack. But definitely the battle of Connor Bedard tonight between the Coyotes and the Blackhawks. Both fans are saying, no. We don't want them to win. We want Connor Bedard, who's just absolutely unreal. And Josh does have a play for us. He likes Tage Thompson anytime goal, DeBrusque over 2.5, Parise over 1.5, and Crosby over 2.5. We like those plays as well. Okay. Daily handle. EY, you could easily be an NHL analyst for PTP networks. You won't be unemployed for long. The big stage, bright lights. Oh, baby. He is an analyst right here on a great network, FTN Network. And Game Plus Network. We appreciate the comment, though, their daily handle. All right, you got goals. You got goal scorers. I'm going to go with sides first, like we've been doing, and we will wrap up the show here. So I think the Red Wings bounce back tonight. I think we're going to see a little bit more of a pushback. They'll get the split between the two teams. I like Detroit plus 115 on the road. I like the Lightning at minus 164. I'm gonna lean with the Blue Jackets as my upset pick here. It's not going to be a full unit play for me. It's going to be like a 0.5 thing. I think we're going to see some offense, though, between the Sabres and the Blue Jackets. I got to lean to the over. It's a lot of nice plays there. I'm not going to touch the Islanders and the Wild, but I would lean with Minnesota in the under at home. Minnesota at minus 135. I think the Pens are going to beat the Preds at minus 127. I know the Preds are playing loose and they're winning some games here, but this is it's a must-win situation for Pittsburgh. I think at the end of the day, we'll see more pushback from the Penguins. I like the Bruins at minus 124, even though it's a back-to-back. I do like Boston here tonight. And I like the Habs as my other underdog upset at plus 140. I would lean with the under in Minnesota and New York, the over in Columbus, Buffalo, and the over in Detroit and Ottawa tonight for handles, for totals. What you got over there? Goal scorers, take it away.
All right. Larkin, Fabry, Brady Tkachuk, DeBrincat, Kucherov, Stamkos, Verhaeghe, Reinhart, Laine, Marashenko, Tage, Cousins, Crosby, Malkin, Novak, Duchesne, McCann, Tollivan, Kyrou, Buchnevich, Horvat, Nelson, Kaprizov, Boldy, Kempe, Fiala, Connor, PLD, Pasta, DeBrincat, Toffoli, Kadri, Domi, Radish, Keller, Bukestad, Suzuki, Anderson, Couture, Hurdle. The 8-way maniac parlay goes as follows: Brady Tkachuk, Stamkos, Tage Thompson, Patrick Laine, Sidney Crosby, Bo Horvat, Kyle Connor, and David Pastrnak.
Nice. You know who's going to ruin it? Horvat. Horvat's going to ruin it for you.
That's a fair call. It's a fair call. Somebody ruins it. I haven't got one to go. I'm not suggesting that you do that. It's a really stupid thing to do, but it's fun for me.
Combo
I love just going straight. And the truth is something's wrong. Like you were saying, I tried to do this on DraftKings. It won't allow me to do it. It will not allow me to do parlays that aren't same game. It just says you're not able to do it. And I don't know why. I did it on DraftKings for the last 2 years. FanDuel will let it, but FanDuel hasn't uploaded all the games. But I am going to bet on this one a whole $1, and I'm going to be rich.
I love it. Yeah, I think I don't know what's going on there with you not being able to do it in DraftKings. As long as you don't have somebody from the same game, you should be able to make that happen. I'm not really sure why you're not making that happen. Thanks as always, gents. Great show today, Eric. Your 8-way parlay will hit one of these nights. Have faith, brother.
Yeah, man.
He's been super close, and I think the combo too. Prize Picks is really good. You don't have to go 4 for 5, or you don't. Have to
can't use Prize Picks, so rub it in my face. Yeah.
You could do like a flex play where you can afford to get one wrong. I think that's pretty good. We do appreciate you guys hanging out with us here. I got a few goal scorers I'm going to roll through. I'm going to pick one maybe from each game. Actually 2. We'll see what happens. Bertuzzi for Detroit. I think he scores again. He's been all over it, guys. Tyler Bertuzzi scores for Detroit. Brady Tkachuk for the Ottawa Senators. Inside that same game, I like Bertuzzi for 3 shots. I like Brady Tkachuk for 4 shots, and I like Tim Stützle. Those 2 guys, Tkachuk, Stützle, and Giroux, they were all over Detroit last night. Do not forget about them from a DFS standpoint, even though we like the Wings to bounce back. That line generated a ton of shot attempts. There's no reason to think that they won't again tonight in the same matchup, getting the last change at home. It's Brady Tkachuk and Tim Stützle for shots, along with Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi scores, and Brady Tkachuk scores. For the Florida Panthers, I go Carter Verhaeghe and Braden Point for Tampa. For the Blue Jackets, it's Marchenko, right? It's a Marchenko season. We're doing it here. Plus 210 for a goal, and I'm going to take a little bit of a sprinkle, plus 310 on the assists, and I like the Point at plus 102. Dylan Cousins is red hot. Tage Thompson. But my guy, Jack Quinn, plus 145 for a point, plus 270 for an assist, plus 400 for a goal tonight. Jack Quinn on the top line with Thompson and Jeff Skinner. The Islanders in a wild pass. Pittsburgh, I got Jake Gensel and your boy Novak. Novak is plus 360 for a goal. He's plus 520 for a power play point. He's got power play points in back-to-back games. He's also plus 180 for an assist and plus 102 for a point. I am passing on the Kraken and the Blues, but I would pick Kyrou and I would pick Matty Beniers on the Kraken side. I like Adrian Kempe and Kyle Connor for goals. And I think Nito Niederreiter is interesting. He's plus money for a point tonight, up on that top line tonight for the Jets. For the Blackhawks, our guy Max Domi. Let's just continue to ride this out. Minus 125 for a shot. Clayton Keller is at a good price for 3 shots. Domi is at 3 shots for minus 125. And I think Barrett Hayton is in play as well as Gostisbehere. For the Bruins, Jake DeBrusk tonight, decent price for minus 125. And let's not forget about Tyler Toffoli and Mikhail Backlund. For the Habs tonight, I do want to take a shot on Dennis Gurianov at plus 540. I like Anderson for 2.5 shots. I think Suzuki has himself a 2.9. I think Michael Matheson hits the score sheet as well. And I am going to go to Mikey Eyssimont for 3 shots and Logan Couture for a goal. And that will do it. That game's at 11:30 my time. So it's going to be a late night for me. We got to get out of here. Any final words? Oh, wait. We got our guy George in the house. He's just like, could you guys wrap up the show? I got to send it to Game Plus. You do underdog picks tonight, EY. Underdog picks. Do you have underdog? You probably got a little bit of cash from the drafts that we did. You may have racked up some cash. Underdog.
Yeah, I'd have to check. I think I have it downloaded, so I guess I could do underdog. I'll have to look into that. I'm still waiting for. I got 7 of my picks piped into FanDuel, and they're slowly updating. It's normally done, but I think you're right. It's basketball is running again, so once again, hockey takes a back seat.
It really does. I got underdog up here now. If you're unfamiliar, at promo code FTN, they'll match your first deposit 100% up to $100. I'm not seeing anything just yet. We should see some stuff. No? Pick'em, NHL. It's a good site. Check it out. You can do some live drafts for tonight's action in the NHL. Like, you can draft a lineup tonight with other people, which is pretty cool as well. And you can just compete with like 3 people, 6 people. Like, for example, they have a $3 draft right now with 3 other people, or you can do 6 people, prizes $16 worth, and you just draft a lineup for that night. It's like a snake draft. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. I love Daily Handle. Degenerate Buffet. He says, just swipe, baby. Just swipe all the bets. 8-leg parlay. Man, appreciate you guys. Okay. One last question. Tips on drafting an underdog. The tips would just be, it's not breaking any news here, but it would be to, we bring in George to the stream. George, what's going on, dude? Welcome in. What are you betting tonight?
Hey guys, how are you?
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome in. Live show. We're just going along here today.
There we go.
Underdog fantasy is your bread and butter, right, George?
Underdog has they got pick'ems where you can do like prize picks, and it works in Tennessee. Yeah. Last time I was in Tennessee, that's what I was doing. I was being a degenerate over there. So, they do have shot on goal props, so check it out.
Nice. I'll check it out.
Yeah. Wait, I finally got it here now. So yeah, they do have a lot of guys. I see some 2.5s. Let's see if we can see actually some of the players that we talked about. Bertuzzi is at 2.5. We got Stützle's at 3. Brady Kachuk's at 4. So you do have to kind of scroll through. There's definitely some guys that are at 2.5. There's certainly some edges there. Like Tage is at 4. Like to ask for 5 shots is quite a bit. Like I don't mind the 3.5s, but Tyler at 2.5. Check it out. This got a lot there and a lot of options. You'll be interesting. My tips really would be, you just want to draft like good players. It's not breaking any news, but you want to draft guys in good spots. Like there's some high total games today, like the 7. I would take a look at Tage Thompson. I would take a look at, some of the Tampa guys here tonight against Florida. I would look at high totals like Ottawa and Detroit. I feel like could be a high scoring game. I take a look at that as well. But my tips would just be forget about D, like draft and goalies on a big slate like this tonight. Like draft some high powered offensive players and away you go. Hopefully it helps. And it seems like pretty brutal advice, actually. Good luck. It's a lot of fun. It's pretty cool. Especially when you get into a 3-player draft, you're going to have a loaded team. Everyone's going to have a loaded team, but I'd be looking at volume shooters. That would be the biggest piece of advice I have is volume shooters, guys that are going to shoot the puck on net, not pass first guys with high shot prop totals, guys that could potentially put like 6 or 7 pucks towards the goal in really good spots. All right. Good luck, everybody on the ice. Appreciate you guys hanging out this long. And we will talk to you again in just a couple days. EY, any final words over there? He's just making bets. I see you're just making bets. You're just sweating over there.
I'm trying to work it here. I'm trying to work it. Yeah. For me, those drafts are super fun. Obviously I'm the goal scorer guy, but I kind of pay attention to everything. I'll do DFS. Usually it's on Tuesdays and Thursdays, sometimes on Saturdays as well. So yeah, it just have fun. Don't bet over your means. I bet very, very little. I know I'm on the show, but I'm not a gambler, and that sounds funny, but it's the truth. Behave yourself.
It does sound funny when he lists off 35 goal scorers. All right. Have a good night. We will talk to you again soon. Cheers.